Welcome to the High Efficiency Practice, hosted by Brenda Mana, a show focused on how leaders build efficient, scalable healthcare and wellness businesses. Today's guest is AnTony Warren, owner of CareBuilders at home in Duluth, Georgia. With a background rooted in family business, service, and mentorship, AnTony brings a deeply human approach to caregiving, one that has already earned his team recognition as one of the top home care providers in Gwinnett County within just their first year of serving clients. In this conversation, AnTony shares his journey from entrepreneurship to healthcare, the realities of building a compassionate caregiver workforce, and why true wealth in business goes far beyond revenue. We explore leadership, cost efficiency, aging at home, and what it takes to build care systems that families can trust.
Welcome, AnTony. Today we'll be diving into CareBuilders at home, quality of care and cost efficiencies, and how you have managed to, within a year of operations, get the top award for quality of cares in your county. Well, let's start. Who are you? What brought you to CareBuilders?
My name's Tony Warren. I am originally from Tacoma, Washington, and I live now in Atlanta, Georgia. My parents were Baptist ministers and non-commissioned Salvation Army officers. So I grew up around people that provided service to others. That's always been important quality of our family. I ran from it for many years. It caught up with me about the beginning of the 2000s. I'm 64 years old, so I was born in 1961. I've always helped people without realizing I was helping people. It became important to me once I made it to my 50s. In my book that I wrote, it describes the transition of my life. In school, I was a college basketball player, and I played a little bit of basketball after that. My family has been airport concessionaires for over 30 years now. We're in the Seattle airport. We're partners with Hudson News Group. I've divested from the family business, and my nephew is now running that. My brother started it, and then I came on and helped him. My nephew has come on, which was always the family dynamic and the family plan. He's in control now of probably about 30 stores in the airport partnerships. We don't own all 30, but we're partners in that port. We have a couple of liquor stores, a wine distribution company. My nephew is a graduate of Penn, Wharton School of Business. And so he's very well equipped to take over responsibility. One of the challenges that I've had in my business with CareBuilders at home is that my brother, who was the founder of the family business, passed away in March. He was 10 years older than me, and my brother was confused as to whether he was my father. I thank God now that he had that confusion, because if he hadn't taken me under his wing, guided me, and on occasion, especially when I was younger in my teen years, made me do certain things. I can remember as a third grader, he made me play football in the fourth grade football team. I didn't fare too well on the field, but I learned so much from being around older kids that when I started playing against people my age, I was already a little bit more advanced because he made me do this at a younger age. My brother, he was the architect of the family business, and he left us in March. I'm basically running CareBuilders at home. We've been doing this since November of 23. We were the second franchise for CareBuilders here in Georgia. Our company is CareBuilders at Home Duluth in Gwinnett County, which gave us the award for Best in Gwinnett Home Care Companies. I'm very happy, and I have a lot of gratitude for us being awarded that because we've only had clients for 1 year. After only servicing clients for 1 year, they saw fit to express their feelings about how we service them to the extent that we were able to receive that award. We didn't apply for the award. I wasn't even sure until about a month ago who nominated us, but we're very happy and overwhelmed that we were able to get that award.
It is such an accomplishment. It speaks to the type of leadership that you bring into your practice as Heart at Home that guides the conversation today, in which we talk about cost efficiencies and quality of care. And those two not necessarily go hand by hand, because sometimes the best decision is not necessarily most cost effective. Thank you for your background and sharing about your brother and how he shaped who you are today as a human being and as a professional. What's a day in your life like? What do you do?
I wake up 3 times. I wake up at 6 and then I turn off the alarm that comes back on at 6:30. I'll get up at 6:30, but then I'll turn that off and I'll finally get up at 6:45. That's the norm. Sometimes I get up at 5 and I can't sleep anymore. So I call it God time. So I'll do some meditation. I'll do some praying. Things will be placed in my mind that will direct my path for that day. There might be issues that I'm being reminded that you have to take care of this today. You have to look into this today. Do this today. A lot of times I have no idea what that's going to lead to, but I just try to be obedient and follow whatever the Holy Spirit is putting on my heart for that day. Then I do my coffee. My wife comes down every morning. We'll pray together and then we'll do some kind of Bible study together. And then she takes off for work before I actually leave the house. Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, I'm in the field. I try to see at least 3 or 4 current clients each of those days and maybe bring in 1 or 2 facilities that we would like to partner with. This is cold calling, which is not my forte. I'm not good at knocking on doors, but I've gotten better in the last year because I've developed a belief in what I'm doing. I feel more confident knocking on a door and trying to introduce someone to what it is that we do for the community, because we provide a service. It's not really a business for me. It's a service. And I look at it as if it's God's business. It was not something I seek, but it fell into my lap. And I know that it had to be that this was part of what my mission is in life. This is my purpose. This is why I'm here, my swan song. And so that's where we look at it as far as what I do on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. On Wednesdays, I try to spend as much of that day in the office. I have an office manager named Kendra who tries to set up interviews. We need to hire 1 to 2 caregivers every week. Caregivers, that's one of the biggest challenges, is keeping caregivers and adding 1 or 2 every week, but finding good ones. Our business is not one that whoever applies for a job with us automatically gets it. Even if they're credentialed, they're already a CNA or they're an RN or they're a PCA. Just because you have those credentials doesn't necessarily mean that you will be hired at CareBuilders at home Duluth. You're not personable. You're not smiling, but you're just there because you want a job. We don't just have a job here. We have a calling. We have a mission. We have a reason to do what we do. If you don't fit that criteria, you're not going to get hired here. The fact that you care, that you have empathy, that you have compassion, those are the things that we're looking for.
Everybody can pass a test, earn guidelines to get a certification. That talks to the smart side of the brain, but there's the emotional side of the brain that needs to kick in. And I think that's what you're referencing. Probably more important, because I always say that you can teach skill, but you cannot train attitude, the type of attitude that you need for showing up and giving 2 cents about something. And you have it or you don't. It's kind of, we can work on it.
Thursdays are similar to Mondays and Tuesdays. Fridays are the catch-all day. What do I need to clean up or finish up? And what do I need to set up for next week? That's Friday. I'm working Saturdays and Sundays. Our marketing is the type of marketing that people can call me anytime, any day on my cell phone. I'm taking calls at 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night on the weekends. People looking for assessments. We give free assessments. People looking for care for their loved one. And care for your loved one doesn't take weekends off. It's extremely competitive in this business. God didn't show me that before he made me take this position. I might have had to pretend like I didn't hear him when he said take this job if I knew how competitive it was going to be. But I love competition.
As a player, right?
When I played football, I was a quarterback. Those are the positions that are the coaches on the floor and on the field. And I've been doing that since junior high school. That's part of my DNA. I've been blessed to be fairly athletic. I would transition from the point guard to the shooting guard, and then from the shooting guard back to the point guard, depending on the time and point of the game and what is needed. I think that also helps me in business, because sometimes I have to rely on my people in the field to direct me on where we need to go next. From conversations with them and them feeling comfortable enough to share things with me, it empowers me to make a better decision on where we're going next. What do we do next with this particular client? Those are some things I look for when we're hiring employees. How forthcoming are they with information? How comfortable are they? How quiet are they? things have changed in the workforce. It's tough out here to find people who will come to work on a consistent basis, who actually care about what they're doing and who have a love for people. It's hard, and it's not only at entry level positions. I'm finding out it's even in some of the management positions where sometimes you have to take a job for the money. You just need to make a living. But for what we do, servicing the public, helping the people who sometimes are by themselves. Sometimes they might have family members who aren't stepping up to help take care of the loved one. And so now that's where we come in. So many of our clients will tell you that they consider us family. They invite their caregivers to their 90th birthday party. Our caregiver might get into a car accident. That client is calling us every single day, and then finally calling the caregiver personally. As soon as the caregiver can get out, the client is taking the caregiver to lunch so they can see them. And that's the business we're trying to build. The finances will come, the revenue will come, and those are the people I want to surround myself with.
You've opened a little bit of the door of the competitive landscape when you were mentioning how tough the job itself is, about finding the right resources to place in the homes of the clients, but also this elders that actually are vested into a new relationship, even if it's just helping them with groceries. What trends do you see in this new competitive landscape? What trends do you see in your space?
I think one of the biggest trends, and I don't think it's catching on as quickly as I thought it would, but the ability to provide certain types of companionship care without actually having a person there. There are basically, looks like a cable box, and it can hook up to the senior's TV set, and the senior can just say, like you're talking to, I believe it's Alexa, call Builders at Home Duluth, call my son, and now their son pops up on the TV set, or we pop up on the TV set, CareBuilders at Home, and then we can look at our watch, or we can look at our phone, and the senior is there, and they can say, on your way in today, can you stop at the store and pick up this, that, and the other for me? Can you pick up my prescription for me? We can schedule 30-minute session every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We will meet for an hour, $30 an hour. And so now, instead of going to that place, we're just talking to them on the phone and asking them, so how was your blood pressure today? What did you have for dinner last night? Did you get the right amount of vegetables? Do you need someone to come in and do laundry for you today? It's a virtual caregiver, basically. There's some trending to that. I'm seeing a trend to younger caregivers that actually care. One of the benefits to that is that a lot of the older seniors are now, when you have someone that's empathetic and still in their 20s or whatever, now they can feel like this is their grandchild that's taking care of them. And those people tend not to be as aggressive or as know-it-all types of people as maybe your 50-year-olds. No one might want someone coming in and telling them, do this. They want it to be, hey, how do you feel about doing this? Knowing they're going to have to do it, but you let them feel like they're making that decision rather than you being the authoritative figure, treating them like your child. When you're 20 years old, you can't treat anyone like your child.
You are a child.
And I have a lot of success with younger people working with seniors. They understand that.
I like both the trends that you're seeing and agree. I've read an article about people in the early 20s helping seniors in Europe. I agree that they both need to help one another, as in the amount of stories and wisdom you can get out of an elder is a never-ending story, and probably the best book because they can share it with as much color as they can because they have so much time to talk about stories and even put some pepper and salt on top of it and then make it even better. They both help one another. One gives wisdom and the other one, by investing the time to connect, they're extending their life. So they both gain, at least.
And we've had caregivers in their early 20s, college students who in their junior year have decided they don't know what they want to do. And so they take time off from college, and one of the easier jobs to get can be as a caregiver. They go in, and next thing I know, they're telling me, okay, I'll only be able to work part-time because I'm going to go back to school and get my degree so I can be a registered nurse.
Wow, that's
That's happened a
wonderful.
couple of times where they have found their calling by being a caregiver for a senior person, and they had no idea that they wanted to be a physical therapist. But now all of a sudden, hey, I like this. I'm good at it. I'm making a difference.
Amazing.
One of the times I get my greatest joy when that happens, I'm going to warn you, I might start crying.
Go
I'm a
ahead.
crybaby. I didn't cry for 20 years. I refused to. And then once I started crying, it's like God won't let me stop crying. Every little thing that happens, I start crying. When a client no longer needs our services. When we're going in and maybe at first it's 8 hours a day, then it goes to 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, and then 1 day a week, and then now we don't need you anymore. That is what we're supposed to be doing. Not everybody has that prognosis, but when they start to get better. This is stuff we've learned in the last 14, 15 months. We've seen people go from not being able to do anything for themselves to now only needing us 2 hours a day, 3 days a week. So those are things that we're put on this earth for.
And those are the things that gotten you the awards.
I've never looked at it that way, but I guess you're right.
In this context of competition, the trends that you're seeing, where would you want to see your CareBuilders at home, doula, be in 6 to 12 months?
My goal was 250,000 in revenue. The first year, then the second year, about 700,000 in revenue. We started in November of 24 with clients. February of 25, I started having breathing issues. In March, they found out that I had some blockage in one of my arteries, 70 in 2 locations, 100% blocked. Then my brother passed in March. We had his service in April. 1 week after that, 3 times them going into my heart and putting 4 stents in my heart. Shortly after that, I had a minor stroke. During this year that we were awarded that award, I spent 4 months trying to maintain the business, but I wasn't able to grow the business. It took all I could for 6 hours of the day just to get out the house and go do what had to be done. Trying to build a scalable business to sell, my goal was to retire at 65, build this business, and have the key employees take it over or fade away into the background and let them run it. But initially, I can't sell it because I'm too important to it. I have to work my office manager in, work my RN in, work key people in so that it's not dominated by my presence for these 4 months. And it has to be me on a very scaled down level. I had headaches that would mean when I finally got home at 4 o'clock, I couldn't even take off my clothes. Financially, my goal is this year to do 500,000 in revenue, about 20% to the bottom line or for net profit. Develop my office manager to prepare somebody to carry on this legacy, to take it to the next level. Build this scalable where my presence isn't required, but if it's needed, I can still do it from Panama.
This is doable considering the competitive landscape and the type of quality that you bring along. If you put aside the downtime of your health issues, might have been straining for you energy-wise and financially. With your determination, I can see it happening. We are almost at time, but I didn't want to close without having you say a few words of wisdom for other leaders being a business owner and scaling your baby to growth, regardless of the path of retirement or selling the business or whatever you want to say.
One thing I take very serious is mentorship. I want to share some things with young people, entrepreneurs, or people just trying to get their life right. There's 2 concepts that I've tried to build my life on. And that's being more concerned with true wealth versus being concerned with wealth. We have to explore the definitions real quickly. Wealth is having a bunch of money. You can set your life up. You can set your business goals up. You can set up anything you want to make money. I challenge people to invest more at true wealth. True wealth is having enough money to be comfortable, having the love of your family, having purpose, having good health, having your mind in the right space. That's true wealth. True wealth is way more valuable than wealth. Money comes and goes, but true wealth will see you through till the end. People are watching you. They're seeing what you're doing, and they might not say it, and you might not even know it, but they are going to be mimicking you. They're going to be copying you. Some of them, you were placed in their life by God at this particular time to give them something. And if you value your true wealth, what you're giving them is something now that they will hand down to their children, and it doesn't cost you anything. The second concept is, how do I get to true wealth? True wealth is determined by understanding, experiencing, being there for the journey, and not only living your life for the destination. You're going to get to wherever it is that you're going, whether you do it through God's will or if you just get to wherever you're going because that's just what happens. But when you're on that journey, those are the times you need to be paying attention. Don't just celebrate the destination, but celebrate the journey, because that's where you get the wisdom, the knowledge, the ability, the information. These are the things that you're put on earth to share with other people. And if you're not paying attention on the journey, the destination won't matter, because you won't be able to tell anybody else how to get there. So those are the two things I'd share with you.
Really inspiring and powerful closing remarks. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.